So I'm doing gender equality in Singapore. For my project, I wanted to do Singapore because I feel like um, people will be really surprised of how far along Singapore is, but also how behind it is as well. So we're going to be talking about different ways or different gender equality examples and statistics. So the first we're going to talk about is women's rights to voting. So it wasn't until 1961, as you can see on the graph, were women able to vote in Singapore. And at the time, they were actually more far along than other countries with implicating women's rights. Women's rights, it was officially known as the Women's Charter Bill. Basically, women came together and said, we want to vote. And a lot of other things happened and which eventually caused um, Congress in Singapore to pass the bill. So next we're going to talk about the work life in Singapore. As you can see here in this graph that I used on our World in Data, um, website is female labor force participation, so women that do work. And the latest statistic came from the last in 2021 with 59.41% of women work. Unfortunately, in 2021, there was a survey that was conducted that showed that in 2 in 5 workers encountered some form of sexual assault in the last 5 years. Um, and these cases, there's over 163 cases that have been reported in 2021. Um, Even though I am talking about men, there's also men that do face sexual assault, not as high as women in Singapore, but it is definitely still there. So here are some more graphs that I wanted to talk about. And the one on the left is just in Singapore. It's employment to ratio, so people that live all in women compared to everyone that lives in Singapore. So if you can see, I know it's kind of small to see, but the workforce actually went up 61.45% of women work from the population, which is really good, with an 86% increase. So that is very good. And on the right shows female employment to population ratio, basically the same thing, but it's to show you in a graph, just to kind of show you how much it fluctuates. With 2021 being high in employment rates for women. So here, this is in the beginning of the video when I wanted to talk about the comparison with the US. So obviously Singapore versus the USA and gender inequality. So this is statistics is from 1990 to 2021. So as you can see, there's a big difference. You can see the drop go down from the 90s all the way until to the 2021. You can see obviously in the US, there seems to be more of women inequality than in Singapore, but you can see that it's starting to go down, which is really, really nice. Is that you can see that both are, if you compare the two, you do see that Singapore is going down along with the US. So what can be done? So what can you do to help lessen the gender equality in Singapore? So these are very broad things that you can do. You can do these anywhere in the world, but specifically we're talking about Singapore. So these are some things that you can do. Um, if you are a woman, you can come together with other women and help to speak out, and more voices the better, and also educate people. Educate people on the issue. There are women, and there are also stereotypes that a lot of people still have. And like I said, educating people and showing them the statistics of real world, of what's happening today, of women not being CEOs, that sort of thing. Even just getting involved, like I said, just getting with other women and talking up, speak up. Even if you're not a woman, just being supportive of women and wanting to be educated and knowing what you could do. Um, and also give to the cause. So you can give to many different organizations in Singapore, that you can send money, or you can even show up and show your support for the cause as well.